We've played more than 150 different pieces in 28 editions. So, of course, we've been through nearly all the repertoire by Schubert, Brahms, and Beethoven.
All right, it's the return of the Arties. The Arties Festival returns to the NCPA for 2 evenings of chamber music this month. It's the 28th edition of the much-loved festival, and the founder of Arties, the French cellist Gauthier Herrmann, is here with us. I have to give you the dates before that. They're looking at performing at the 5th of November, the Experimental Theatre, and then on the 7th of November at the Tartar Theatre. Tickets are live on Book My Show as we speak, so please get them. Or if you're near the theatre, they're at the theatre box office too, so please go pick them up. Hi, Gauthier, how are you?
I'm very, very fine. I'm very happy to speak with you today. Thank you.
Now, you've been visiting India for over a decade now. You have a special connection. And in a way, if you look back at your first trip to India as a young solo cellist back in 2001,
Yeah.
it's almost as though the Arties project was created in India. Is that true?
Yeah, actually, the idea started at the very beginning, but the real Artist project and connection festival started in 2008. But yes, before that, I came something like 6 or 7 times to India to perform as a solo, duo, quartet, and quintet.
And you do have your friend, the great Mr. Khushroo Suntook, the NCPA chairman, to thank for that, because he loves hosting you. He loves hosting the Arties Festival for nearly half of your professional life. So talk about that friendship you have with the great man.
Yeah, we are very close friends with Khushroo, and I really love him. And there is from the very beginning, the connection was there. Actually, we are playing we have played in more than 50 countries now, and we are of course working with different facilities, different venues, different people. But what always happens with Khushroo is that when we start a kind of business meeting, I mean, it never lasts for 10 minutes. It's always like 2 hours, and we are listening to music, and then we are going there, and visiting all the repertoire. And we are really linked by the real passion of music.
That's lovely. Now, I know that before every edition of the Arties Festival, you, Gauthier, along with Mr. Suntook, devise an exciting program, and you work very hard at it. And you not only go through well-known masterpieces by Mozart, Beethoven, and Schubert, you also look at some lesser-known composers. So talk to me about the repertoire and what we can expect in those performances, the 2 performances that you're coming here for this time.
Yeah, so maybe just a few words about when we've played more than 150 different pieces in 28 editions. So, of course, we've been through nearly all the repertoire by Schubert, Brahms, and Beethoven. But we've tried so many composers and so many not very well-known pieces. This time, the project is quite nice, not to say very nice. It's 2 concerts with 3 composers, the same one in each concert, but of course not the same pieces. So it's like a triptych with Mozart, Beethoven, and Elgar. And so first day is Elgar, Mozart, Beethoven, and after is Beethoven, Mozart, Elgar. Of course, the 2 Beethoven pieces are very, very known, very well known. We are talking about the Razumovsky Quartet, number 7. It's just maybe one of the master of the masterpiece. And the second symphony arranged by Beethoven himself and one of his students for piano trio. So it's quite interesting because you can discover the symphony that many people already know, but in a very different ways with different colors, and it's really nice. It's really well done.
Also, I want to know about the musicians you're bringing down. I know if you look at the past few editions, you've had over 50 musicians who've traveled to India along with you for the Arties Festival.
Yeah,
are there going to be
more.
some repeats? Yeah. I guess you've clocked in 60 by now.
Yeah,
But
I think so.
any familiar faces that are coming back? Any newbies? Who are you excited about bringing to India?
Yeah, so this team is very exciting actually, because first of all, the pianist, he's a very old friend. He's not old, he's 43, but I know him since I am a student. And he was there for the 2 first editions in 2008 and 2009. So Romain Deschamps, I think he's one of the most gifted pianists I've ever met. I mean, you just give him the score and he just read it like this, and it's almost perfect from the first reading. And we are back with Violaine Desperoux. She was there for the first time in last April 2024. It was the first time I was playing with her, but she is so fantastic. So I really wanted her to be back, and as soon as possible. So it's the soonest I can do. And we have 3 new musicians, 2 ladies and one boy. I say a boy because he's very young. He's something like 25 years old, and he wants more or less everything what is possible to be one as a violinist. And he's the how do you say in English? He's the principal in the Orchestre Philharmonique de Radio France, which is, I mean, it's the concertmeister. It's the best seats to be, and he's the youngest of the orchestra. He's amazingly talented.
Lovely. Now, I want to tell everybody who's watching or listening, Arties Festival is a long-standing tradition of the NCPA. It is basically a festival of chamber music. And chamber music, if you look back to the 17th century, it refers to music once performed by a small ensemble at intimate gatherings in royal courts. And that charm lives on at the NC. You know, there are artists, soloists, duos, trios, quartets, quintets, and over the last so many years, they've enthralled audiences. And in the last 3 editions of the festival, Gauthier has introduced the audience to the Arties Chamber Orchestra, which is an ensemble of 15 musicians performing a concert of symphonic music, especially arranged for the chamber orchestra, which is what we are talking about. I also want you to talk about 2024. It's been a special year for you because you and your wonderful wife, who is also a violinist, and your 2 daughters, you were also a part of a family program. Please tell us about that.
Yeah, actually, it's a nice story because my 2 daughters, they are now 13 and 11, and they are playing piano and violin. And at the beginning, just for fun, because they are, of course, quite gifted because they are part of a family of musicians. And we started to play with them at home. And one day, as an encore in a concert, they were very young, something like 6 and 8. They come on stage and play with us, and it was a great success. And finally, after 4 or 5 years now, we are giving concerts only with them, and they've played in India already. We have quite nice tours this year, going to Switzerland, going to Belgium. We have a plan to go to the US with them, and they really like it. So it's very funny, and for us, of course, we are very proud, and something, I mean, to share with your own kids great concerts with Beethoven, Mozart, Rachmaninoff. It's something like, yeah, we are very lucky.
Well, Gauthier loves Beethoven. There is absolutely no doubt on that. I know that you've always said that Mozart or Beethoven are clearly very easy to access. So it's important for everybody who's new to Western classical music to start listening to them. But I want to know from you, what do you think of Indian audiences at the NCPA? Are they knowledgeable over the years? Have you seen their knowledge of Western classical improve? And the facility itself is so beautiful. You performed at both the Experimental Theatre as well as Tata and, of course, the Jamshid Baba. You must have gone around on tours around the facility in your many editions here. What do you think of the NCPA? So, first part is about the audience and how knowledgeable they are, and the second part is about the complex itself.
So, I don't know how many concerts I gave at the NCPA, but let's say it's the 28th edition, and we are giving every time 2 or 3 concerts. So you can make the calculation yourself. Of course, it's very nice for us because when we go to the NCPA, we know that half of the audience, we will know them. So we have a personal relationship with them. So it's really something so nice and fantastic. I think about 50% of the audience have a quite high knowledge of the Western classical music, and a very specific one. I mean, when we talk about the Parsi community, for example, it's surprising how they know the music, I mean, deeply, they know the pieces, but they know the name of the number of the opus. They know what is before, what is after, who played it in what year, in what tour, with what was the. I mean, they really know the inside of the programs. So it's very nice for us because we know that we are playing for audience who have already listened to the work, and they are coming just to listen what we are doing with this. So it's quite nice for us. But on the other side, 50% of the audience is quite new with the Western classical music, and it's a fantastic challenge for us because we really want people to feel confident and to feel well in this new world. So it's really nice because we know that we are bringing something new to people who will dive into culture, and this is the most important. And not only at the NCPA, I mean, it's the same all over the world. It's very nice to play for people who will discover music thanks to our concerts.
And the facility and the various theaters.
The facility, of course. So I have something special with the NCPA because we are very lucky. We have played in hundreds of venues in the world. I mean, in all China, you can see this here. I mean, we have played in hundreds of theaters.
Wow.
The NCPA, it's really something. I mean, we know the people who are working for the lights, for the stage, for the entrance, for the cleaners. We know everybody. So it's something like we feel like home, and we love it. And the sound of the two theaters, because we are playing in two different theaters this time, it's quite different because the experience for the audience in the experimental theater is something like it's more intimistic. I don't know how do you say in English, but
intimate.
Intimate, yeah. Sorry. So it's something like it's like in your room or in your living room. So people can really enjoy it. And of course, the sound of the Tata Theater is maybe easier for us, and it's more like the main venue. So it's really different experience. Of course, I suggest that people try to come to both concerts to experience the difference.
There you have it, the Arties Festival India, presented on the 5th of November at the Experimental Theatre, 7th of November at the Tata Theatre. Tickets are live now at Book My Show as well as at the venue. Gauthier Herrmann, the French cellist, and his motley crew of wonderful performance will be here in India. And we wait to welcome you. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Most people tend to qualify a person's talent by the amount of Grammys or Grammy nominations that artists have been either nominated for or won, preferably. And Gonzalo Rubalcaba has been nominated 19 times for Grammys. I mean, and that tells a story of its own. I mean, he's a Grammy winner, of course.
All right. This week at the NCPA brings you up to speed with what's happening next month. The NCPA International Jazz Festival. All you jazz lovers out there, you know that the last weekend in November, NCPA is the place to be. We're talking Friday, November 22nd, Saturday, November 23rd, Sunday, November 24th of exquisite jazz music. Tickets are live now at Book My Show as well as at the venue. And longtime friend and brother and confidant, Brian Tellis, is always part of the action at the International Jazz Festival and is quite a regular feature at the NCPA, even otherwise. He joins me this morning. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hey, Hrishi. Always a privilege, man. How are you doing?
Couldn't be better now that I'm talking to you. 2011, which means it's been a long time that this festival has been operational.
Yes.
And you've seen it develop and grow from a fledgling bird to, what is it, a nice round beast now.
Isn't it just? It's a wonderful festival that has evolved, like you said, over the years, starting with the traditional style of jazz to the more fluid styles of jazz. As we all know, it's such a versatile genre. And what I love about this festival, Hrishi, is that it embraces, besides fluid styles of jazz, also embraces young, new artists and brings them over. And of course, the festival also presents well-known jazz artists. So I think it's a festival that embraces not just fluid styles, but also various, kinds of artists. We've seen some big names in the past. Andre Reyes, Jacob Collier, who's a 4-time Grammy Award winner. I mean, Morgan Field, Arturo Sandoval, my goodness, what a show that was. Jesus Molina, Diane Reeves, who performed with Herbie Hancock. So the names that have come here, Thilo Wolf, big band last year. So wonderful, wonderful names. The Mingus big band that came in as well. So the festival really reeks of promise. And like I said, wonderful styles, both young and not so young artists. So hey, you're looking and speaking with one enthusiastic festival attendee. That's me.
Theodore Wolf as well as Jane Monheit last year told me this is as well informed a jazz audience as there is around the world. And that's saying a lot. Also because, when the NCPA International Jazz Festival started, there was really no jazz scene except for the odd jazz concert here and there. We all remember the glory days of the Jazz Yatra.
That's right.
I think after the NCPA International Jazz Festival has come on and promoters have seen the power of jazz music, it is now not something that, is out of the ordinary. You could walk into a regular club and they will program one night of jazz every week or at least every month. And I think credit must be given to the NCPA for kind of restarting or kickstarting that international jazz movement. Would you agree with me?
Undoubtedly, Hrishi. Like you rightly said, back in the day, as young enthusiasts, we all frequented the jazz yatras, and then there was a long, almost unbearable break. And so, more power to the NCPA for bringing jazz back into our lives, live jazz. And it's something that people are savoring. The beautiful thing is, over the years, I've noticed that besides, of course, the jazz enthusiasts that we know of, there has been a nice list of attendees who are young and who are exploratory in nature. And to me, that puts a smile, on heart, because, while jazz kind of is perceived, as one of the older genres, it really can be given a truly, truly modern contemporary feel, which these young artists do. So I think it reeks of all the right content.
Lovely.
Truly does.
Okay, let us run you through, all of you who are watching and listening, the phenomenal artists for this year's edition. Friday, November 22nd, an 18-year-old jazz prodigy pianist and composer Brandon Goldberg takes the stage. What can you tell us about Brandon, Brian?
Oh, my goodness. He is so young. It's almost unbelievable that he has achieved all he has. I mean, he's a pianist and a composer, as we know. Like very many other artists, actually started really young. Brandon started playing the piano at the age of 3 and has received critical acclaim for incredible technique and his musicality, we are told. I mean, I haven't seen the young man perform before, and I am so looking forward. Having said that, he has performed even at this young age at the various prestigious jazz festivals and venues across the United States. So he comes in with a fair amount of experience, showcasing his. He's won several awards as well. I mean, including a couple of awards that really stand out for me. He won the 2023 Herbie Hancock Institute of Jazz International Piano Competition while he was a semi-finalist there. And 2022 ASCAP, the Herb Albert Young Jazz Composer Award. So he's no mean achiever. And beyond that, he's released 3 albums. So at this age, I think he's really, really got the chops and he's proved it. So Brandon Goldberg is someone to look forward to on day 1.
Lovely. Day 2, we have the multi-Grammy winning pianist and composer Gonzalo Rubalcaba. He has Cuban roots. He's also a bit of an educationist. Goes back and teaches at conservatories. And of course, his latest collaboration is with the mighty John Cicada. That's as little as I know. Please add on to it.
Most people tend to qualify a person's talent by the amount of Grammys or Grammy nominations that artists have been either nominated for or won, preferably. And Gonzalo Rubalcaba has been nominated 19 times for Grammys. I mean, and that tells a story of its own. I mean, he's a Grammy winner, of course. He's won 3 Grammy Awards. He's won 4 Latin Grammys. So not only is he being looked at, as someone who's contributed immensely to jazz, he's also very, very celebrated. I mean, he was born into, he's a Havana boy and born into a musical family. He initially started off on drums, and he has, like you rightly said, he has collaborated with the best jazz luminaries. I mean, he has played with Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Haydn. Blue Note Records catapulted him onto the global stage, and he has never looked back. So he again is someone who's giving back, and I really respect that. His commitment, as you rightly said, to music education is really to be noted. So I do believe not only does he bring tons of talent to the table, I think his approach and his attitude to the world of music, primarily jazz, is really something to be celebrated. So yeah, I mean, there's another person whom we're all looking forward to big time.
Double bill on Sunday, November the 24th, Brian, at the NCPA International Jazz Festival.
That's right.
The incredible pianist Matthew Whitaker, vocalist Veronica Swift. So just a little bit about both Matthew as well as Veronica.
Sure. So we'll start with the lady, as we've been trained to. But on a serious note, I mean, Veronica Swift's new self-titled album, in fact, is a bold declaration of primarily her artistic evolution, and she's extremely versatile. Her third release for Mac Avenue Records, it showcases not just exceptional vocal prowess, which we all know her for, but also, her diverse musical genres. She's completely unafraid. When I saw her the last time, I mean, while jazz is where she's rooted in, she's extremely kind of versatile. I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, she navigates, and seamlessly, I must add, I mean, French and Italian opera, European classical music, bossa nova, blues, rock, funk. So she is extremely versatile. And what I love is that she is absolutely undeterred, unafraid to kind of flirt with and do justice, I must add, to the various other genres vocally. So Veronica Swift, my goodness, she is also someone who carries a whole load with her. Looking forward to her. Matthew Whitaker, 23 years of age, and that's saying a fair bit to begin with. He's already achieved, I think, more in the music world than many artists could do in a lifetime. I hope I'm not being unfair to other artists when I say that, but he began his musical journey, as a prodigy, a child prodigy. Names that come to mind are many, who started their careers really early and have done justice. I mean, he plays piano, keyboards, the organ, obviously, and drums. Coupled with, of course, the fact that he's an incredible writer of music. So compositions is one thing, but arrangements as well have established him, I think, as a prominent and versatile musician. He again has a whole lot of albums to his credit and a whole lot of gigs to his credit. He's played with John Batiste. He's played with Christian McBride. So he is jazz and beyond, I think. So again, Matthew Whitaker, at just 23, carries some serious qualifications with him, and again is yet another whom we have to look out for with great anticipation, because he's guaranteed to send you home with a smile on her heart.
Lovely. Jazz royalty at the NCPA International Jazz Festival. Tickets are live now at Book My Show. Go get them, or if you're near the venue, go pick them up at the venue. And the inimitable Brian Tellis shall be your MC, your master of ceremonies, through those 3 days of bliss at the Jazz Festival. Thanks, Brian, for your time, and see you soon.
Always a privilege, Hrishi. See you on the respective dates at the NCPA for the festival. Looking forward.
Cheers, my friend.
94.3 Radio 1.